Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well. The topic that we will discuss today it is the position of the hydrogen in the periodic table, as it was the very big task for the scientists to place the hydrogen at its best place because the properties of the hydrogen was not resembling with the other elements. For example, as it has been placed in the group 1A. On the other hand, all the other elements of the group 1A are metals, so it is not a metal. On the other hand, can it be placed in the group 7? But on the other hand, its electronic configuration is different from the group 7. Can it be placed on the top of the noble gases? But on the other hand, it is not a stable compound. It cannot exist independently. So all these questions just arises that where we should keep the hydrogen. So let's discuss first its resemblance and its differences from the other elements or the other group elements in the periodic table. So the first one, it was having the properties like alkali metals. Its electronic configuration was same as of the alkali metals. When we see its electronic configuration, it has just one electron in its valence shell, so its electronic configuration is 1s1. Second element is lithium. Its atomic number is 3. Its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s1. Then we have sodium 11. Its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, and 3s1. Then we have for potassium, atomic number 19. Its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, and 4s1. So here you can see that its valence shell is having one electron. On the other hand, the valence shell of lithium, sodium, and potassium, all they have a single electron in their valence shell. So its electronegativity or electron configuration was similar to that of the alkali matter. So it be placed over there. On the other hand, the second property that was resembling to the alkali metals, its tendency to combine with the electronegative elements. All the other alkali metals can combine with the electronegative elements, or we can say that they can combine with the non-metals, as non-metals are the electronegative elements. So the hydrogen was also having the ability to combine. For example, it can make hydrogen fluoride, it can make hydrogen chloride, it can make hydrogen bromide. So all these are the electronegative elements and it can have bond with them. And the third form is it can form the ionic compounds. So hydrogen can also form the ionic compounds by the process of gain or loss of electrons like all the other alkali metals. So that's why it should be placed in the group 1A, but it was having also some different properties from the alkali metals. The main was it is a non-metal, and the scientists have just placed in the group 1A elements. All these elements are majorly metals, but the hydrogen it is a non-metal, and we know there are a lot of differences between metals and the non-metals. So when we are talking about the metals, they can lose electrons easily. They are known as the conductors. But on the other hand, the hydrogen, it is a non-conductor basically, and it is a non-matter. So it was the main difference of the alkali metals with the hydrogen. So this was the simple difference between alkali metals. On the other hand, hydrogen it is a non-metal in really true sense and it can't lose electrons as easily as most of the alkali metals can do. On the other hand, alkali metals can make the bonds with the electronegative elements very easily by the loss of electrons. So this was the main difference of the alkali metals and the hydrogen. Next was, can it be placed in the groups 4A, or it was also having the resemblance with the halogens and the group 4A elements. So the first property that was similar to the halogens, it is gas like the halogens. Hydrogen it present in the gas form. The second, it is stable in diatomic form, as like the halogens, they are present in the form of fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. It was is a diatomic molecule. Diatomic means there are two atoms present in the molecule. Next, it needs one electron, hydrogen, as if I'm going to draw over there its valence shell, it is already having one electron and requires just one more electron to complete its valence shell. On the other hand, the fluorine, chlorine, and bromine, they are having seven group and they contain seven electrons in their valence shell. On the other hand, they also needs one more electron to complete their valence shell. So this was also the similar property to the halogens of the hydrogen. The fourth one, they can form the stable ionic compounds with the alkali metals, as the hydrogen can also make the stable compound like HF, HCl, like other NaCl, or we have magnesium chloride. So that's why it can make the stable ionic compounds like alkali metals. So this was the main resemblance of the halogens with the hydrogen. And then the resemblance with group 4a, its valence shell is half filled like the elements of the group 4a. If we have a carbon from group 4a, its valence shell contains total 4 electrons. For example, the first one shell contain 2 electrons and the last valence shell contain 4 electrons, and it requires 4 more electrons. It means it is half filled. Like the hydrogen is already having one electron and it needs one. It's mean to complete its duplet, it also required one more electron, so it is also half filled. On the other hand, its property is reducing like carbon. Hydrogen can act like a reducing agent like the carbon. So this was the resemblance with the halogens and the group 4a. So it can be placed in group 7 and 4a as well. But on the other hand, what position we just find of the hydrogen in the periodic table? So the position, it was by the resemblance to alkali metals. It was placed in group 1a of the periodic table. So different periodic tables just use the different position of hydrogen, but we just use the modern periodic table. Compromising positions of the hydrogen, so also it was replaced in the group 7a, but that was not true. There were also many compromising positions of the hydrogen in the periodic table, but the most suitable was the first element of periodic table, and its electronic configuration, we have 1s1. It contains one electron and it has been placed at the top of the alkali metals. So this was a simple about the position of hydrogen in the periodic table. I hope you guys understand, and next, if you have any queries, you may ask me about that. And the next topic that we will discuss, it is the introduction to the S block elements. S block elements, group 1 and group 2 elements. For that time, you guys have a good day and keep learning.